Wednesday, February 12th on Creole Habit. Hosted by Creole Cultural Ambassador Prince Wadix and sponsored by Digicel. TK International Silver Jubilee Celebrations. Creole Habit. A front row sit into the culture of Dominica.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, 60 individuals are set to receive the National Vocational Qualifications Award of Dominica this month. In news from the region, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister calls on the U.S. government to remove sanctions against Venezuela. And internationally, key U.S. trade partners wait for U.S. President Donald Trump to reveal new tariffs. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Making the headline this evening, 60 individuals are set to receive the National Vocational Qualifications Award of Dominica this month. This forms part of the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET certification program on island. Paula Serafin is the Executive Director of the Dominica TVET Council.
There are many opportunities available through TVET. So let's talk about certification, for example. So far, we have awarded 60 NVQD, which is the National Vocational Qualifications of Dominica, and that was in August of 2024. We have registered another 60 individuals to receive the National Vocational Qualifications Award of Dominica sometime this month. And so during 2019 to about 2022, it must be noted that 600 or so young persons in Dominica received training in various industry areas. And many of them would have come from the Adult Education Call Center in Portsmouth, the Youth Division, YSBT, and other training institutions. Moreover, we needed to ensure as a Dominica TVET Council that training institutions are also certified to deliver training programs that are NVQ-led. And we want for our learners, candidates, our youth to receive certification that carries a level of weight like the NVQ or the CVQ, which is the Caribbean Vocational Qualifications.
Executive Director of the Dominica TVET Council, Paula Serafin. An initiative aimed at empowering students with sustainable agricultural solutions will be rolled out at 2 secondary schools in the east of the island. Regional Project Coordinator of the Amplifying Rural and Indigenous Youth Voices for Climate Justice in the Caribbean Project, Fedderson Valmon, says the Northeast Comprehensive School and the secondary or the Cassiber Secondary School will receive agricultural equipment under the project.
Our overall goal is to really bring sustainable solutions directly into schools, providing students with not just knowledge but also hands-on experience they can interact with. By offering tools like the irrigation systems, which will be handed over to the Northeast Comprehensive School on February 18, 2025, and the Cassiber Secondary School on the 19th of February, 2025, it will basically give students practical experience on water conservation, sustainable farming, and resource management. Our aim by handing over these equipments will be to inspire the next generation of environmental leaders who will carry forward the knowledge and solutions they gain. The project as a whole seeks to increase students or young people's understanding of climate justice, environmental challenges, human rights and reparation. And it also emphasizes the importance of intergenerational knowledge sharing, empowering youth to become advocates for their communities, and which will be our target audience, the Kalinago territory.
Regional Project Coordinator of the Amplifying Rural and Indigenous Youth Voices for Climate Justice in the Caribbean Project, Fedderson Valmont. Residents of Sam's Gutter in Marigot have been given the reassurance that work will begin as soon as possible to address the road conditions in the area. This comes as the villagers embarked on a protest action for about 1 hour today by blocking off a section of the road. Parliamentary representative for the Marigot constituency, Anthony Charles, says the matter has been resolved.
What took place at a specific area in Marigot called Sam's Gutter? It had a few potholes, which the CR5, the Chinese company, they did not patch it. They put some dry mix, which is a tarish basically, and it was causing some dust, which the road was not being wet frequently enough for the residents in that area, which is heavily populated with residents. So a few concerned citizens in Sam's Gutter, they under the protest action for about an hour. They blocked the road to get the attention of the supervisors and the people in charge for CR5, which the director of MMCE, one of the director, Carl Murad, came and they rectified the situation with the residents, which are going to immediately fix the matter. Before I left, the road was wet a few times because of the dust, and they're going to concrete or asphalt, I think, before the end of the day. So they exchange numbers with the correspondent for that area, and they're going to rectify that situation as soon as possible, with immediate effect. That started since when the international airport started, and they started mining the quarry at Pigwa. So they are doing some transportation of some materials, and obviously we know the road will get damaged, but the repairs are being a bit tardy. They're not done frequently. So the residents are getting the effect of all the dust and the potholes. Unfortunately, it had to come to that, but they are resolving the matter and they'll try and do it more urgently and solve the present situation at hand.
Parliamentary representative for the Marigot constituency, Anthony Charles. The Ministry of Agriculture is on track to launch a national backyard farming program. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Ansem, says this is essential in addressing food security in Dominica.
When we look at food security, food and nutrition security, there is room for backyard farmers, and we want to launch a major national backyard program as we speak about that. And basically that is to target single household women and the most vulnerable, and to take the nutritional part of it, healthy diet, healthy eating, and so we will launch that in the future. And so we are very happy with what we have done in terms of food security, but now 700 million, we have to target commercial farming. There's no way we can do it by subsistence farming. We have to target commercial farmers, and we want people to invest in agriculture. And you have to take agriculture as a business. We have to upgrade our market system. By that I mean we have to explore more opportunities in terms of market penetration. We have to look at our traditional markets and try to upgrade our systems on what we're doing in Antigua, what we're doing in St. Kitts, what we're doing in Barbados, and try to augment and to increase our exports.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Ansem. Green entrepreneurs are being encouraged to take advantage of the National Development Foundation of Dominica NDFD Green Innovation Summit to further advance their enterprises. The summit aims to engage both established and aspiring green entrepreneurs aged 16 to 45. Business and Entrepreneurial Development Manager of NDFD, Donald Bocasio, says this year's event, now in its third year, promises to be even bigger.
The NDFD's Green Innovation Summit, or NGIS, has been evolving, and this third edition will be our best yet. And here's why potential participants and sponsors should take notice and get involved. Number one, there will be more opportunities for participants. This year, we are introducing extended mentorship programs, targeted pitch sessions, and increased media exposure for standout green entrepreneurs. We will endeavor to assemble the strongest group of mentors yet, including real and successful entrepreneurs who have been in the trenches, faced real challenges, and emerged thriving and winning. Their guidance will be invaluable in helping participants navigate their green business journey. There will be stronger industry partnerships. We intend to secure more partnerships with key stakeholders, including industry leaders, sustainability-focused organizations, and funding bodies. This means more opportunities for networking, knowledge sharing, and business growth. Enhanced opportunities for funding and investments. This edition will place greater emphasis on connecting green startups with possible financial backers, aside of course from us, grant programs, and impact investors. So if you are looking for funding to take your green business to the next level, this summit will be a game changer for you.
Business and Entrepreneurial Development Manager of NDFD, Donald Pocasio. On the feature segment of the news, we feature young businessman Rudy Defoe, the CEO and owner of Liberty Car Care Services. He received an award from the Dominica Youth Business Trust when it celebrated 20 years of existence last week. Mr. Defoe of Lubia began his business career following the passage of Hurricane Maria. He is our feature on the DBS Evening News.
We're a car wash and detailing shop. And we do offer home services as well, where we do mattress cleaning and rugs and sofa cleaning as well. We took part in a training, an EDPM training with DYBT in 2022, where we completed our course of different business training, record keeping and so on. And it was really a great experience that it expanded on my knowledge about how to go about managing the business. And in and I would say big thank you to the DYBT for having me there, receiving an award, and also for their help over the years for broadening my mindset as a business owner.
So what was the reason behind setting up the business?
I always wanted to be an independent person ever since growing up. I had other jobs where I ventured my skills in different places, but it was after Hurricane Maria, then not much people had jobs, you understand? So it was a little tight, and at that time I started expanding on what I could do. And it was during, I can't recall, but it was some years back during high school that I learned to do automobile tints. So during that time after Maria, I took the advantage of starting to tint vehicles and so on, seeing that a lot of more vehicles were imported after the hurricane. So I expanded on that, and I took that as the opportunity to go ahead and start a business, you understand? And right now, it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Well, at the start, things were a bit slow because in starting a business, not much people know about you, especially the type of work that you offer. So their trust is going to be not going to be that high, you understand? But over the years, I would say that the support has been great from the public, from the general public. For my customers, I would like to give them a big thank you for keeping me going, because there are a lot of stuff that I never had experience in doing, and they gave me the chance to go ahead and gain the experience with their vehicle or with their furniture, or whatever it is. So for support from the outside, I would say that the support has been great thus far. Well, my business is located in Lubia. It's in the First Avenue, Madrel, Lubia. So if you're on the way, you on the way to Granby, where you would see the resource center. So it's all the way in that lane to the dead end. And you could always come there for inquiries on our services, on what we do. You could just have a visit, take your vehicle in, get a nice clean up, or you could request one of our services for your home.
Young businessman Rudy Defoe. And that's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow FastPay. 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow FastPay. Flow FastPay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
DBS News.
In news from the region, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, has called on the United States government to remove sanctions against Venezuela for the further development of the Dragon gas field. Dr. Rowley says that this will strengthen energy security in the region. An energy conference in Trinidad and Tobago opened this morning.
The government, with the support of CARICOM and the Dominican Republic, also simultaneously requested a review by the United States government on the sanctions on the Dragon gas project. Following discussions and negotiations with the U.S. government, the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Controls, OFAC, approved a request by Trinidad and Tobago to waive ongoing sanctions against Venezuela so as to allow for the development of the neighboring Dragon gas field. This was followed by a 30-year license between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago that grants selected operators, Shell and NGC, the right to produce and export gas to Trinidad and Tobago from Venezuelan territory. The government, in collaboration with the government of Venezuela and our energy stakeholders, have made great strides in advancing the development of both the Dragon project and the Manakin-Coquina project. We will be seeking to engage and apprise the new U.S. administration of the importance of these projects, not only to Trinidad and Tobago, but to energy security in the region.
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley. And internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump says he will impose a 25% import tax on all steel and aluminum entering the U.S. The president also says he is planning to impose tariffs on countries currently taxing U.S. imports, but did not specify which nations would be targeted or if there would be any exemptions. Key allies like Canada and the UK are nervously waiting for further details from the Donald Trump administration. And that's news. The DBS Evening Sports Report up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's bowl off with some cricket news. And not good news for the national women's cricket team as they suffered a miserable day with the bat as they crashed to a 6-wicket defeat against that's Grenada as the Windward Islands women's 50-over tournament continued today at the Benjamin Park. Well, Dominica won the toss and elected to bat first. They were dismissed for just 33 runs. No batter reached in double figures. Amia Gilbert top scored with 9. 6 batters failed to score. Well, Holly Matthews, she picked up 3 for 9 and Raquel Williams 3 for 8 for the Grenadian team. Grenada replied with a 35 for 4 in 12.1 overs. Rachel Francis top scored with 13. Amiel Gilbert, she picked up 2 for 18 and Pearl Etienne 1 for 9. So the loss was Dominica's second straight loss in the competition. Dominica will now play the defending champion St. Lucia in their next match on Wednesday at the Geneva playing field. Meantime, the defending champion St. Lucia suffered their second straight defeat as they went down to St. Vincent this afternoon at the Geneva playing field in Grand Bay. The match was reduced to 20 overs aside due to rain, and St. Lucia batted first. They were bowled out for just 78. Chrissia Smith top scored with 31. Aries Hooper took 3 for 10. Janila Glasgow 2 for 7. Tracy Byron 2 for 14 for St. Vincent. The Vincentians in reply made 79 for 7 to win the game by 3 wickets. So St. Lucia will now play against Grenada in their next match on Wednesday at the Benjamin's Park. Well, let's bring you some more cricket news as the Windward Islands Volcanoes batsman Kavem Hodge is confident that the team can rebound from their slow start in the CWI Regional 4-Day tournament and get a good result against the combined campuses and colleges. The two teams will meet in the third round of the CWI 4-Day tournament in Dominica starting on Wednesday at Windsor Park. The Windward Islands are coming off 2 defeats to start off their campaign, but Hodge is hoping that the Windwards can capitalize on the home conditions.
Yeah, it's always great to be home. I think the last time we played a first-class game in Dominica was a few years ago, probably I think 5 years ago or something like that. So it's always good to be on home territory. So we're looking forward to put on a show for the Dominican people.
All right, and I'm sure the people will be looking for the Volcanoes, to turn their fortunes around. Maybe this could be the breeding ground of some good results for the Volcanoes moving forward. What's the mindset of the guys heading into this game?
Look, I think we're optimistic. We have a good bunch of guys, talented guys. But I think, the message we've been pushing is just to, be mentally strong. Cricket is a lot about mental. So I think that's where we've kind of been lacking for the past 2 games. So I think, hopefully a changing environment. Dominicans love cricket, just the changing environment. I think it would be good for the team. So we're just looking forward to change that momentum and get the mindset right and turn things around.
All right. Getting Alec Athanaze back into the lineup, the captain, sure that must be very, confidence boosting for the guys.
Yes, of course, having Alec in any team is always a confidence booster. He took some time off after the Pakistan series. He's refreshed, he got some training in and he's ready to go. So obviously, with his skill and his leadership assets, it will be a really boost for the team.
And you personally, Kavem, coming off the back of a century in the first innings, albeit in defeat, but what was it like, getting to the 3 figures, especially in your first match?
It was good. The past couple innings that I've had, both international and regionally, I wasn't able to get the scores that I wanted, even if I was spending time at the crease. So it was really good to get past that 3-figure mark. Obviously, being a batsman, your currency is runs and hundreds at that. So it was good to do that. For me now is just to be consistent with it and continue getting big scores for the team and keep carrying the innings all the way through.
All right, what would you want to tell the people of Dominica to come out? I know they haven't seen cricket in so long, 5 years, regional cricket. What would be your message to the people of Dominica?
Look, I just want to tell everybody just to come out in your numbers, bring your family, bring your friends, come spend the day. It should be good, and we need the support. It's all well and good to support a team when they're up and sawing, but, when our back's against the wall, we need that support, and I have no doubt that the support that we get from Dominica would be a big game changer for us. So I'm urging everyone to come out, bring your coolers, bring your carrier behind the cane. For those who don't drink alcohol, bring your sorrel juice and come and enjoy some good cricket.
And that's the Windward Islands Volcanoes batsman Kavem Hodge. Well, the Volcanoes have announced that Alec Athanaze will make his first appearance for the season in this week's match against the combined campuses and colleges team. He'll also resume the captaincy. The Volcanoes have also announced that Kenneth Demba and Ryan John are back in the team, replacing Kieron Kotoy, Lee John and Kamal Hamilton. The full Volcanoes team is Alec Athanaze, the captain, Sunil Ambris, Kenneth Demba, Gian Benjamin, Darrell Cyrus, Sadrak Descart, John L. Eugene, Kavem Hodge, Ryan John, Darius Martin, Stefan Pascal, Jeremy Solozano, and Gillan Tyson. In some more sports this evening, the new president of the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers Football Club, Jerry Williams, says restoring the club to the top of the DFA Premier League is among some of the long-term goals for the new executive. Well, Williams was elected president on the weekend, replacing Heinrich Ansem at the helm of the club. Williams says focus will also be placed on the women's team.
First on the agenda is focus on the female, as they are now in the final stages of their competition. And it looks good in regards to their finish for this season. One of the key things is to just refocus the club. The club has been in existence for a while, and I'd like to thank the members who were there before and who, through all the times kept the club together. And that's one of the most important things, that the Bombers, Portsmouth Bombers is a brand within the Portsmouth community. And a lot of players have gone through the Bombers system. A lot of players have gotten, selected for the national team. So it's a club that needs to position itself back to the glory days. And then being the only club on the north, except the defending champions. But then the northeast going Premier League club, I think the opportunity presents itself to show the dominance and expose as much players as possible.
And that's the new president of the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers Football Club, Jerry Williams. The rest of the executive reads Vice President Heinrich Ansem, Treasurer Julius Peter, Secretary Joel Hamilton, Media Personnel Mauricia Andrew, Youth Coordinator Andy Burkhardt, and the Women's Coordinator Antonia Hector. The committee members are Washby Douglas, Johansson Bridget, and Earl Matthew, and the head coach for the Bombers, Oris Mills. Cricket West Indies. Well, the Board of Directors of Cricket West Indies has approved a historic set of governance reforms, including changes introducing term limits and increasing the terms of the president and the vice president. The new measures approved on the weekend will see the presidents and vice presidents now serving 3-year terms and no more than 3 terms. Some of the other governance reforms include the introduction of more female independent directors to the board to enhance gender representation in decision making. Also, the implementation of more robust recruitment and selection processes to ensure the most qualified candidates fill key positions within the organization. The establishment of an audit, risk and compliance committee to enhance financial oversight and transparency, and the introduction of business class travel for the West Indies senior women's team for all long-haul international flights, and single room accommodations for the West Indies senior women's team on all international assignments, aligning with the men's policy. The new governance reforms will also see an establishment of the Women's Cricket Transformation Committee to help develop strategies for increasing female participation and strengthening the women's game. Well, CWI President Dr. Kishore Shallow hailed the passage of these reforms as a landmark achievement. In some more sports this evening, the national cyclist Koaf Baron secured a second-place finish in the time trials, a second-place finish in the criterium race in the Tour de Grand Bahamas on the weekend. Baron, the defending champion at the event, started off well on Saturday with a strong showing in his first 2 events. He finished a 3.7-mile time trial in second place and finished second in the closed circuit race. However, an injury on Sunday forced him to withdraw from the 80-mile road race. Baron says while he was disappointed not to have completed Sunday's race, he was satisfied with the start to the 2025 season.
This weekend was good, seeing that I could go out and the opportunity to do my first race for the season. On Saturday, I got second both in the time trial and the circuit. And on Sunday, a little incident happened where someone ran into me from the back and injured my leg. I didn't really feel it at first, but as I continued later down in the race, it started bothering me a lot, and I had to stop eventually. But all in all, it was a good race, and I'm looking forward to the races coming up this season.
And that's the national cyclist Koaf Baron, and Dominica's slim hopes of qualifying for the next phase of the CONCACAF Under-17 World Cup ended on Sunday as the national Under-17 team suffered another heavy defeat in the tournament, which is underway in Mexico. Well, Dominica had lost their opening match against Belize 7-0 on Friday, and last night they were humbled by the CONCACAF powerhouses Mexico as they went down 8-0. Well, the result means that Dominica has lost their first 2 matches and they've conceded 15 goals in the process. In the other Group C match last night, Nicaragua beat Belize 1-0. So Nicaragua now tops the group with 6 points. Mexico has 3 points. Belize 3 points as well. And Barbados and Dominica are yet to get off the mark. Dominica's next match will be against Barbados tomorrow afternoon. That game will kick off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and let's hope that the Nature Isle boys can help salvage some pride and bring some joy back to Dominica as they look to end the tournament on a high note. 2 heavy defeats so far, but against Barbados, let's see what the boys can do. Well, Joseph Fadul, DJ Halo Boy, I think that's going to be the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report. Of course, we'll have some more sporting highlights for you tomorrow morning during the major morning news. On behalf of the entire news and sports departments, our presenter Leila Langford and our links person DJ Haloboy, I'm Gavin Richards saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 10th day of February 2025. We begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio death announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Patrick Jarvis, age 84, of Lale Granby, who resided at Viewpoint Warner. The body of the late Patrick Jarvis of Lale Granby, who resided at Viewpoint Warner, can be viewed from 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, 12th February at the Granby Roman Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Granby Roman Catholic Cemetery. Funeral arrangement entrusted to Gentle Rest Funeral Service, Inc. The management and staff of DBS Radio extends deepest condolences to the family of the late Patrick Jarvis of Lale Granby, who resided at Viewpoint Warner.
And now, your Community Bulletin Board.
Let's now present to you this evening's edition of the general announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. Domlec wishes to inform its customers in Glasgow, Foncole, that their electricity supply will be interrupted on Thursday, the 13th of February, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. This interruption is necessary to allow Domlec to undertake maintenance on the distribution system at Glasgow. Additional information is available on their website, www.domlec.dm, under scheduled outages. Domlec appreciates your understanding in this matter and regrets any inconvenience caused. P.H. Williams and Company requires for immediate employment factory workers, truck drivers, mechanics, and operators of heavy equipment. Drivers and operators must possess a valid Class C license, and all applicants are required to submit a recent police record. Apply in person to the manager, P.H. Williams, Canefield, or call 235-2252. Dominica Freight Systems Portsmouth office is temporarily closed for renovations. Office pickups, payments, and in-person inquiries are not currently available. However, Portsmouth delivery service continues on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Packages can be collected at their Canefield office, or delivery can be requested within the delivery zone. Questions or concerns can be directed to the team via telephone numbers 255-6860, 255-6861, or 255-6862. You can email contact@dfs.dm. Applications are invited from suitably qualified persons to fill the position of messenger at the Marigot Cooperative Credit Union Limited, MCCU. The messenger securely delivers packages, documents, written and verbal messages, and other items to its intended location or recipient in a timely manner. Summary of the position. The primary duties and requirements